Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ready Set Pop. Welcome to season 3, episode 1. My name is Mariel Basori, greeting you from Mexico City, and I'm here with my two beautiful co hosts. All the way from Brazil, we have Lucas Apache, and all the way from the beautiful Colombia, we have Mauricio Sierra. Hello, boys.
Hello, guys.
Hello. How are
This
you,
is
friends? How are you
great.
today?
Really
Happy to see
excited.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this is so cool. We are now starting this new season. I can't believe it's season 3 already. We have been through a lot during this time. And well, we just decided to keep like 1 week off so you guys can be like expecting us. But anyway, here we are. Um,
And we don't want to miss each other.
no,
Yeah,
I mean, every time we don't have like an episode, for me, I don't know, guys, but for me, it's like, oh, I miss my boys.
Yeah,
of
it's the
course.
same.
Of
I love
course, it's
this
the
so
same
much.
here.
Yeah.
Yes.
But well, we are here, we are together, we're back, and we just hope you like this new season. We have a lot of treats prepared for you. And to start off, to kick off this season, we have a topic that our friend Luquitas chose. And it's all about artists that released one album that was pretty good and that you were like really expecting for something else to happen then. But guess what? It never happened, and maybe just some songs got leaked, some EPs got out there, but what happened? Why didn't they release more? This is what this episode is about. What happened? One album and then they disappeared.
No
So
more.
I want to
Yeah.
ask you, Luquitas, why did you choose? I'm sorry, this topic.
Okay. I This is my choice for this week because I feel like I'm such a sucker for underrated artists, and I know that you guys are too.
I know.
Uh,
Of
we
course.
just can't
Yes.
help but love, and it's something that I really love to talk about, like these uh, theories behind what happened. Is something that me and Mao we spend a lot of time sometimes wondering what could be uh, next for a lot of artists, or what could have been done differently with the albums and the singles. Is something that I love to talk about, and I feel like it's pretty much the center of what we love in this pop universe that is so big, and there's always something to discover. So to, I can help but have this feeling about a lot of artists, because that happens a lot. It's
Mm,
very common, it's very normal from an artist to release one single or one album or whatever and just disappear, and we stay with our expectations.
I know.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much that's the reason why, and hopefully people watching can discover more music if they don't know the artists we are about to talk.
Yes, definitely. It's going to be an interesting episode. We all chose 3 artists that only released one album. Maybe some of them released more songs or like
Yeah.
on leaked albums, but not official.
Yes.
So I want to start with you, Luquitas, since you are the one who chose the topic. Bring it on, darling.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna start with a boy band. It's called Point Break. It's from UK. It's a boy band
Mhm.
that I really like. Of course, I love so many boy bands, but this one is very special to me. I feel like they deserve it more. They had one album in 2000. Apocalyptic is the name, and they had 5 singles, which is a lot for a band that
For one
was
album.
discontinued. Yes,
Mhm.
and the single "Stand Tough" was a top 10 on UK, number 7. But as you guys know, in UK, if you are not straight to number 1, you are out very easily,
It's hard, yeah.
and is really brutal. And I kind of don't understand because they were disbanded after one album, but then UK released more and more and more boy bands, basically in the same style of Point Break. For example, Triple Eight is a boy band that for me sounds exactly the same. They just
Yes.
changed the boys, and Point Break was really cool. They had songs that were more like five, like Everybody Get Up, that there's the rock
Mm-hmm.
energy and some rap, but they had like the pop stuff. That is the song that I chose to talk about today, that is called You. uh, it was a single that was number 14 and is my favorite by Dan. Actually, it's really funny because every time I listen to this song, my boyfriend thinks it's me singing. I think the voice is kind of similar, and
Yeah.
I love that. And well, for me, it's such a shame because such a fan, and I had a crush on Ollie, one of them, the blonde one,
Yeah.
and I really don't know what happened with this guy because this boy band came from two of them came from a TV show that is called Biker Grove from UK. That was like a teen series that had other guys singing, like PJ and Duncan was a duo from UK.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
actually they were characters from the show, was a fictional duo. And so Ollie and Brad came from the show, and Declan, I don't know if it's Declan or Declan, his name, joined the guys. And after they disbanded, Ollie had another boy band called Free Faller that was more pop rock, like Busted and McFly, that were like the big thing in UK in that moment. And then I never heard of Ollie again. Like
Mm.
uh, the others continue to act like Brett was acting, and Declan always singing and making musicals. He was part of the American Idiot musical by Green Day on Broadway, and he released solo music. But Ollie, I had no idea where this guy is, and I really wanted to
Mm.
see how he looks right
Oh.
now. It's a curiosity that I have. I can help, but it's very sad for me because I only have that album and that's it. So I want to know if you guys had the chance to listen to the song "You." I know it's very generic, nothing so different from that era, but I would love to listen to the opinions, starting with Marielle.
Well, I obviously know who Point Break is. I actually remember I have this girl on my Instagram account, a follower, who is like a super fan of Point Break, and she had like this special account dedicated to them. I don't know if it's still active. I haven't checked. Let me see. But I do remember she was obsessed with them. And funny, you chose the song I like the least. It always
Okay.
happens with you, Luquitas. I don't know
Always,
why,
yes.
but I do remember them. I don't think they sounded different from other bands. I mean, when it comes to boy bands, they all have something in common,
Yeah.
and I think you have to have like really smash hits to be
Mhm.
remembered by, and have songs that people will be like, oh yeah, this is this group or this is that group. But when it comes to Point Break, for me, I can't actually remember one in particular that I say, oh yeah, they sing this song.
Yeah.
So for me, they were like, okay, they were there, but they weren't as big as other bands out there, like you just mentioned, Five or
Yeah.
Blue,
Definitely.
um, that were pretty popular. So for me, I don't know if I could have seen more future for them. Um, I don't know. I think they're more like generic. I'm sorry, not my
Yeah.
favorite, but I mean, mm,
No, you are
uh,
not wrong. They were not different. I think for me, what gains my attention were the performances and the dance.
mhm.
Because I'm pretty sure if I tried to dance like them now, I would hurt my back. Because it's so exaggerated. That's the only difference. But I don't know. I still feel curious what they could have next. So, what are your
But
opinion,
they
Mal?
but they didn't. I'm sorry. Let me interrupt. They didn't release other songs. Like there was like a second album in the works or not?
No,
No.
I think they disbanded without recording anything because uh, didn't take so long for the other band of Ollie, the Free Faller, to happen.
Okay.
So yeah,
Mm,
I don't know.
okay.
Maybe there was something in work, but I never found anything.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Yeah,
Go on,
please,
Mal.
Mal.
Sorry.
Okay, no, no, it's okay, mi Mariela. Well, today we're talking about a very specific topic because in the past we had the opportunity to talk about like one hit wonders, but today is different because we are talking about like this kind of artists that had the opportunity to release an album, maybe not huge, like maybe
Yeah.
not so popular or so successful. And I think this is the main like subject of this episode. Like, not necessarily these artists had a huge impact or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think, and it's very in relation with other topic that we talked about before, and it's like this kind of pop princesses, underrated pop princesses like
Mhm.
Ashley Ballard or this kind of girls, Sonja Mitchell, that had the opportunity to record just one album. But today is like in special, like we were expecting for more and nothing happened. And I think
Mhm.
this is what happened with this band because what I perceived, what I was perceiving when I was listening to the song, it was like okay, it's more like the same, like it's the same. And I think in that time, I don't see that right now, but in the past, like in the 2000s, it happened like that. Like we have this kind of trend in music that is working so much,
Mhm.
so we can replicate a lot different kind of artists with the same formula. And
Mhm.
I think this is the kind of Point Break that they were trying to put another band with the same sound, with the same yes, with the same formula, like to release music and to gain maybe not so much,
Yeah.
but like clone by clone by clone by, yes, like this kind of artist that is very similar to the others, this kind of band that was very similar to the other bands that were around. So yes, I think this is the case of Point Break because it, like Mariel said, I can perceive difference, like it's another song. Actually, I was listening and I was thinking like, oh, it's very similar to Lupita's voice because you
Yeah.
told me that once. You told me that, yeah,
Yeah.
and yes, it was like that. I was like, okay, this is the perfect song for Lucas' voice.
Mhm.
But yes, I think this was the case of this band, sadly, because uh, they were not bad. They were not bad or something.
Yeah. It's very complex because back then, if you do something similar, it's one more. But if you go to a different direction, you will not be part of that universe, and you will probably be a flop as well. So
Yes, yes, yes.
yeah,
And let
It's
me
the
add.
matter of
I'm sorry, Mal.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
sorry, so no, I mean, Mario, is the matter of trying, like let's try, and it could be good or it could be wrong,
yeah.
but let's
Exactly.
try. Maybe you can have a hit or maybe not. It's like let's try. Go ahead, mi
Yeah.
Maria.
Exactly. No, I was going to say that sometimes what doesn't help, and in this case, I think is what happened with this group, is the name
Oh,
Point Break.
Uh,
I mean, sometimes they choose some names like that. Why do they choose these kind of names? I mean, it doesn't help. So if you don't have like a good marketing strategy for you for your name, it won't work. So for me, Point Break doesn't give me anything. I don't know.
uh,
I don't know.
yeah, maybe
Doesn't
you're right. Yeah.
like I was talking today on my Instagram about Soul Decision, a Canadian boy band,
yeah.
and I was also thinking Soul Decision. What a terrible name! So it's.
I
I
know.
think you have to use like what can actually catch the attention of people. What kind of name can be remembered? But I don't know. In this case, Point Break doesn't give me anything. I
No.
don't know. Okay. Well, your choice, Mau.
My choice. Well, I'm going to start with an American Idol contestant. He is actually have the city here. It's Mario Vasquez. This case is very particular because he was a contestant in the season of Carrie Underwood was the winner, right?
I'm
And
not
Third,
sure.
yes, I think was the third, the fourth,
third,
the third. Thank you,
third or
Mariel.
fourth? Oh, I don't know,
And
but
he was, but anyway, was the season of Carrie Underwood, and he was so strong when he auditioned for the show. He was very strong. His voice, his talent, everything, and the judges were so like surprised by his talent. But something happened in the middle of the participation of this guy, and he decided to leave the show. And
mm,
a lot of rumors going on, and there was a huge rumor back in the day in that moment that he was like having a bad behavior with another guy. I don't know if you remember this guy, or if you read about it in the
Yeah.
past.
Hmm.
He was having this bad behavior. I don't want to be very specific specific in this, but because of this, he was like I don't know if he because of this he decided to leave the show. But he was saying that the decision was made because of the promotion of the album, because he was trying to get the contract, get the deal of the album, and it was true actually because even when he was not the winner, he had the opportunity to record an album. But I think this rumor was bigger, and we never had another album by Mario Vasquez, and it's a shame because I consider he is very um, talented. I love his voice. Gallery was the single of this album. It was good in the chart,
Yeah.
and I remember when I heard this guy for the very first time. I was thinking like, oh, I love these kind of guys that are Latino and the same time doing R&B music, like Frankie J. He reminded me so much of Paula de Anda in a way, like a male version of Paula de Anda. So it was a shame because I was expecting more, and I remember I was so addicted to Gallery the very first time when I heard the song, and nothing happened. And actually, right now he's very active in the media, like in Instagram. And when these kind of things happen, it's very common that these artists are saying all the time in media like, "Oh, wait, because I'm about to release something," and nothing happened, or maybe it's something like very independent or just an EP, but not so huge, not with a label, not with a marketing, nothing. So
Yeah.
I want to know your opinions, Guy. Did you know about Mario Vasquez in the past? I think you did. So let me know, Luquitas.
Yeah. I was obsessed with Gallery back then. I think it was
Okay.
2006, if I'm not wrong. And
Yeah.
I really love that
Yeah.
version with Babe Bash, like is the remix
Yes. 2006.
version.
Yes.
Yeah, I still listen to the song a lot. I think in this case, something happened in the backstage. It was not that simple because you guys know that in this industry the things are really weird. I think for
Yeah.
sure he was forced to to go home, like
mm-hmm.
uh probably had a conversation like, we cannot have you here because if this rumor explodes it's gonna be bad for the show, so you should go home and we promise you something in return, maybe this album, you know.
Okay. Okay. I like this theory. I like
It's
this
a
theory
nice
so
theory.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. Very good
you
theory.
you have the album in your hand, let me know the label that
It's the
was.
Clive Davis. The Clive Davis actually Arista Records.
Oh, it's not a bad
So
label.
yes.
Mm.
No. No.
And Clive is really linked with the American Idol.
Yeah.
So makes sense for me that happens. And it was because it was a different time. I think, I
Yeah.
don't know if he's in the closet or not right now, but the rumor was about that. So maybe if it
Yeah.
was today, nothing that would happen. But definitely he was like, uh how can I say, like, they did that, like you can have your moments and then you are out. It was like they they do with a lot of artists all the time for
Mhm.
different reasons, and it's such a shame because he was really talented, and he had another
Yeah.
single but without music videos, all those things that they do in purpose for the artist to disappear, as we are talking
To
about.
disappear. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I really love Gallery for sure. It's amazing, a great song.
What do you think, Manuel?
Thank you so much for introducing me to someone new because I didn't know about this
Oh,
guy.
okay, 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 okay.
I
Okay,
know,
that's
I know.
that's very cool. That's very cool.
I love when I get to know other artists because of you guys. And I'm not a huge fan of boy singers. I mean, male
Mhm.
singers. I only have like my few favorites, and that's it. So I don't get to dig into rare singers. But this one was cool. I liked it. I could definitely hear why you liked it, Mao, because it's so you. It's like Mao style, that's for sure. So I didn't know about the story of this guy. I had no idea he was on Carrie Underwood's same season. Um, but it's great to know this kind of music. I don't know, like Lucas said, maybe somebody promised him something. Somebody was like, okay, you can release your album, but then you're going out, which happened to a lot of other contestants from shows like American Idol or The X
Yeah,
Factor or The Voice. I mean, I think that's pretty common. But
yeah,
um, since I didn't know about him, I cannot tell you more, but I did like the song. I think it's like you just mentioned, Frankie J meets Paula de Anda meets Cat de Luna, so it's like a mix over
yeah.
there of Latino R&B influence, which I liked. But well, it's a shame there was no more from him, which is a shame with a lot of artists that we like. But it was a good introduction, Mao. I will check out more from him because I had no idea who he was. So thank you.
Actually, Naomi Manuel, you're welcome. Actually, the album is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's Latino R&B, as you said. Like it's very Frankie J,
Okay.
and that kind of thing. But maybe you're gonna like it because it's very this kind of thing. And actually, Gallery is a truly representation of this kind of R&B that was the trend in that
Yeah.
moment in 2006. Uh-huh.
And
So thank you guys.
shout out to Baby Bash. Everything he did back
Yes.
then was great. I really like
Because
it.
he was working with all of these people, Paula and Frankie and Mario and yes,
Natalie, everything.
Natalie, yes, Prima J, yes, very cool.
Nina Sky, yes.
Yeah.
Nina Sky, yes,
Okay, well, it was great. I hope you guys, once watching, leave your comments. Joaquin, hi Joaquin. He's saying that he loves Gallery. Um, Adrian is here. He says, I have missed you guys. We have missed you
Yeah.
too. Thank you for being here, boys. I was talking to Joaquin earlier today, so it's so cool to see you here. Okay, it's my turn. I'm a sucker for girl bands, and I couldn't leave this one behind because I'm really mad that they didn't do better. I'm pretty sure you guys know about Solid Harmony, who were a British girl group formed in the late 90s. They were signed to Jive Records. They were the opening act to the Backstreet Boys, not only in the UK, but in the US too. Their songs were popular, in the charts, but they released I Want You to Want Me, I'll Be There for You, I Want to Love You, and the other one, To Love Once Again. Yeah, To Love Once Again. Um, their songs were pretty good on the charts. They were having their success, but suddenly, bye, nothing happened. They did record songs for a second album, which is now out. You can find it on Spotify. It's
Yeah.
called album number 2. They didn't name the album. It was supposed to be Turn the Tide, but it was like a fan made version. But the songs were leaked, but unfortunately, those songs weren't as good as the songs from the first album. I chose to talk about I Want You to Want Me today, which is like a very pop, fresh, funk, catchy, cheesy song. Uh,
Yeah.
I want to know your thoughts. I'm going to start with you, Mao. I'm pretty sure I have talked to you about Solid Harmony, but I don't know how much did you know about them. What did you think that was missing there? Do you think it was a massive competition of other girl groups that were back in the day, like All Saints, the Spice Girls, Bewitched, all those big girl groups came out at the same time? So, do you think it had something to do with it? What's your thought? What are your thoughts?
I didn't know. I didn't know anything about them until I met you and until I had the opportunity to listen to this kind of music, like very bubblegum teen pop, because they are very underground. Like I know that the music you like the most. So in this case of these girls, I think that exactly that you just said. The competition was huge, like a lot of artists, and they are from UK, right?
Yes.
So okay, the Spice Girls were huge, and another kind of girl groups like All Saints and were big too. And it was so difficult to have like a place, in this business and in this huge universe. So they actually, I love this kind of music, like this kind of theme pop, bubblegum pop from that moment in time because it's very cool, it's very good, it's very energetic and very nice to hear. But in the case of these girls, I think the name is not bad but not so attractive. They
Mhm.
were trying to have a original name, like a very not the typical one. But when you are mixing different kind of words like Solid Harmony, like I don't know. I think this is like maybe it was a bad decision for them to have this kind of name that is not so easy to remember. Because for example you think about the Spice Girls and it's like, oh, okay, girls from the Spice or something like that, it's very
Yes,
easy,
yes.
it's very easy to remember.
Hmm.
But in this case of this kind of group, like you said, like Soul Decision, Solid Harmony, this kind of names, it is difficult to remember like who is who. So I think
Yes.
what this was the reason. But actually I think the girls had like the moment, like because they were underground in a way, but they had some singles. I don't
Yeah,
know if
and they.
they were. Go
I'm
They
ahead.
sorry,
were
Mom.
well,
Yes,
actually. Yes.
they were actually produced by Max Martin. So he
Okay.
was working with Britney later. I mean, we know Max
Yes.
Martin is a
Yes.
great producer, but I
Okay.
don't know. I try to think it was competition more than anything, and the changes
Yes.
of the bandmates because when they finished their first album, Mariana left and Melissa left too, and so it was only
Mm-hmm.
Becky and Elisa, and they added this girl from Puerto Rico, and it was a mess. So sometimes that also happens that when you change your members, it becomes a mess, and you are getting used to see some, and then some leave. So I think it's a mess. But now I want to know
Actually, 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 that happened with Destiny's Child. With Destiny's Child at
yes.
first, because in the
Hmm.
first when they released the first album, they were not successful and huge. They were like, oh, another R&B girl group. When they
Hmm.
released the second album, it was like, oh, okay, it's good, but they were not huge. And until the writings on the wall and all the Say My Name and stuff like that, and they changed members and they established as like huge R&B group. But
Band.
this happened at first. The first album was not successful. So I think in the case of these girls, maybe if you keep going and put all the effort and good producers and hot yes and a hot label or something like that, maybe it could be good for them. But in other cases, it's very difficult to have this kind of success.
Yes, I think it's difficult. And when you change members like that, Joaquin here is reminding me that Joe Omura from S Club 7 was first part of this group and then left to
Oh,
join S Club 7. So I think it was a smart decision. Don't know. Um,
it was good for her. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
the best decision.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And then Mariama, who left Solid Harmony, joined the Honeys.
Yeah.
So
Um,
yeah, it
okay,
was a mess.
more of the
Luquitas,
same. Yeah.
Luquitas, what do you think about Solid Harmony?
Yeah, well, first of all, I really like I Want You to Want Me. It's so energetic, so pop. And I have the album by Solid Harmony here. I really
Ooh.
like this album. I think it's really pop. And I think the problem for me was, of course, the competition. I think they were constantly creating girl groups and boy bands to make, as Mal said, all the money they can, even if it's not big. And when
Hmm.
there's a little bit more as potential, they could put more money and make it um, really, really huge, like they did with Atomic Kitten. After a long time of their working, they, of course, put some money in Sugar Babies. You know, they need to be really huge for them to really, really promote. And other thing for me with Solid Harmony is the lack of star quality of the girls. You know, for me, in my opinion, only Melissa had the the X factor. Let's say that. You know, she looked like a
Hmm.
star to me. I really love her voice. I think they were always putting her in the middle and everything, and the other girls were like more normal.
Background.
Yeah, especially when you compare with the Spicy Girls, that all of them were so um, with so much personality, and they were like huge stars, and you knew, oh, this girl is Emma, this girl is then. And with Solid
Hmm.
Harmony, you know, is just girls, but Melissa for me always had the star quality. I don't know why, but I think she looks a lot with Charlie XCX that I love.
Oh
Um,
yes,
yeah, and she had some solo songs. I think she released three singles as a solo
yeah,
artist that
yes.
uh but nothing happened in her solo career
No,
too,
she never
unfortunately.
managed to release a full length album. Only
No,
solo
the
singles.
album
Yeah,
never happened. And she re-recorded the song Hello World by
by
Bel
Bel
Perez.
Perez.
Yes,
Yes.
and nothing happened. But I really like the
Mm.
album. I really like the song, and the Portuguese version by Rouge. I really like it too.
Oh yes. And have you heard the songs from their second shelved album?
I did when I realized it was available, but it's not nothing so different or
There's
so
not a
special.
song that stands out.
Yeah, but I remember listening to one and thinking that it was one of those songs that someone else recorded, but now I
Uh,
cannot remember. I
Wild
gotta.
Orchid.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Wild
Yeah,
Orchid. Yeah.
but I wanna listen to the whole album again to remember because I
Yeah.
wasn't really paying attention. You know, was working
Hmm.
and playing and everything.
Yeah, but it's definitely not as good as their first, and
Yeah.
you can tell that it had a lack of production and
Hmm.
nothing like their first. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's carry on with Luca's second choice.
Okay, my second choice is now I'm going with a boy. It's Richard Lugo. This boy here. Where's the camera? Oh, here.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's someone that now I realize that was only kind of famous here in Brazil, nowhere else. He's American, actually from Miami. I know that he was signed by the label in 1999. In that moment, they were crazy about the teenagers and signing everyone and dealing with them later. So he released this album called Boom in 2001. with one single, Boom. But here in Brazil, they team up Richard with the girl group SNZ, and they
Mhm.
released a single together here that is a version of Nothing's Gonna Change My Love for You, uh, which now I don't really know what was the intention behind, because it was not very common for a Brazilian act to release a single in English. Back then was
Mhm.
not common, and they wanted to promote Richard here and the girls outside. I don't know, but nothing happened with the girls outside of Brazil. But the song was like huge here in Brazil. It was really, really popular. So Richard was always here in the TV shows, in MTV, and the music video was doing really great. So the song was included here in Brazil as a bonus track, of course. And the single Boom was on MTV too, not on top 10 or anything, just in the regular shows. But I remember seeing him all the time. And in my mind, as a kid, he was famous, like, oh, Richard Luke, he's a star. I was putting him in the same position of huge stars in that moment. And then he disappeared, but he really disappeared. I cannot find anything by him online. I don't know what happens.
Oh.
There's nothing. Actually, his name is very common. Richard Lugo. There's a boy from football and a lot of regular guys with this name. Um, but nothing about him and what he did after this album. So he's one of those cases that keeps me curious to know what happened. If they insisted more, there would be more songs or more albums or anything. Is someone that I really want to know what happened someday.
Mm.
So yeah, I want to know your opinions. I know I shared this album with Mao once, so I want to start with Mao with this one.
Okay, this is the perfect example of the subject of today, like one album and disappear of
Yeah,
the earth, you know?
totally.
Uh, yes, I want to know, my friend, does Richard have Brazilian roots or something like that? Brazilian? No, no, no.
Nothing. I don't know how the
I
connection
thought
happened.
I thought he was Brazilian.
Yes, I
No,
thought he
no, he's
was
American.
Brazilian.
Yes,
Yes, but
he's American. His family
does
from
he
Puerto
have
Rico.
Puerto Rico? Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay, okay. I was thinking it was like Brazilian roots or something like that.
No, no.
Uh, this is the kind of guy that I really like the song the first time I heard it, because it's R&B and this kind of vibe. Um, Another case of the same thing, like putting an artist with similar vibe, with similar sound, competing with the other big names. I don't know. It's so difficult for me to find the difference between him and other artists around in the same
Yeah.
time. I think the album is good. The song was good, but nothing happened because of that. Because it was no difference. It was no different.
Yeah.
But I think in that moment it would be good idea to explore more into his Latino roots, because at that
Mhm.
time J Lo and this kind of thing. So maybe if they were trying to put him in the map, maybe with this kind of Latino power or something like that would be like an answer for him to have
Yeah.
this kind of recognition, because it was very exploded in that time, but in this case not so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think maybe when these kind of teams are working, uh, they sometimes we as fans have better ideas, like maybe exploding this kind of side
Yes. Yeah.
of him,
Uh-huh.
like okay, he's Latino and the Latino power is around and it's very trend in this moment. So okay, let's explode this side of this guy. I think that happened, but the song is pretty good. The song is really good. The song was perfect for the time. I can find him very attractive in a way, and sometimes it helps.
Yeah. The music
But
video was really cool.
yes, yes. But I don't know. I don't know what happened, and it's funny because he had his moment in Brazil, so that's funny too.
Yeah.
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 What
What do
about
you
you,
think, Mariel?
Well, first, I didn't know who this guy was either. So today was like a special class for me, because I had no idea. But once again, when I saw him, I was like, he must be Brazilian. I don't know why I
Yeah.
thought he was, and I thought that's why Luquitas chose him. But now that I know that he wasn't, funny. I think, yeah, he was handsome. The song was catchy, but let's be honest, 1999 was Ricky Martin's year.
Mm-hmm.
And Ricky Martin and Enrique Iglesias were at the point, at the top. Everybody was talking about them. So I think
Yes.
competition was also pretty tough back then for an upcoming singer. And both Ricky and Enrique were already known, and their songs,
Very
the
known.
songs that they were releasing back then, like Living La Vida Loca, or the other ones from Enrique. I can't remember the name right now, but I
Hero,
think,
hero, and
yeah, I mean those songs were like huge. So I think the competition for this kind of Latin singers was a little tough, and
Yeah.
I think that's what happened with him. I had no idea who he was until Luquitas sent the song. Um, but, well, I think it goes more with competition this time, that there were
Yeah.
okay.
other singers. Here in Mexico, back in 1999, there was this Italian guy. I'm pretty sure you guys know him, Nick.
Yeah.
Yes. Laura no
Laura, no,
está.
Laura no
Laura.
sé.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was also so popular. So there was a huge wave of singers, of male Latinos, Italian. And so I think that's what happened. That maybe it was a huge wave of singers and not a lot of market
Yeah.
to buy everything. So
Agree.
uh,
Agree.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah, true.
It's
But
true.
thank you
Agree.
for sharing something new for me
Okay, I'm glad.
this
I'm
time.
glad I did.
Mao, you are next, darling.
Okay, thank you, Mariel. This time is for a girl that was intended to be another R&B princess, and it's Miss Tatiana Ali. Do you remember this girl from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, El Príncipe del Rap in Spanish? She was Ashley Banks in the show. She started like in the TV, and you know that the Fresh Prince of Bel Air was so huge, and they discovered that she had the potential to be a singer, and Will Smith tried to put her like in the map with with her voice and everything. During the show, when they discovered that she had a beautiful voice. In some episodes, she's singing Aretha Franklin's songs, and actually, there is a song that I was wishing all the time that was released, like the complete version, like the final version that is "Make Up Your Mind." I don't know if you remember the song.
Hmm.
She sang the song in one episode of a karaoke or something like that during the show. And Will Smith included her in the catalog of his label back in the day. But there are a lot of theories about what happened with Tatiana. One is she was more focused into her acting career, and she didn't want to maybe release more albums. The other theory is the competition because this album is from 1998, I think. Yes, and in '98, people like Brandy, Monica, Alia, Maya were huge, so the competition was hard in that moment. Another reason was actually she was graduated in Harvard. So the other reason is like she was trying to have like maybe not celebrity career or acting career or something like that. She wanted to be more focused in this kind of lane because she studied African American literature or something like that.
Mhm.
And I think that there were the theories. But it's interesting because then she appeared in the third or fourth album of Will Smith in Millennium in a collaboration, and she
Mhm.
had a lot of potential to be like Brandy or Monica because she had the voice, she had the style, she got the looks. She's very beautiful. Actually, the songs that were released from this album, "Daydreaming" and what is the other? "But You Know Me Out" with Will Smith, were good in the charts.
Every time it was a
But
single.
every time, thank you, friend. Yes, I was thinking that was another single. Actually, these songs went good in the charts, in the R&B charts, and in Billboard Hot 100. But nothing happened. And when I discovered that Tatiana had this album, I was so curious what happened with Tatiana because another singers came after that, like Ashanti or Christina Milian or actually Tatiana had these Panamanian roots and Latino roots, very similar to Christina Milian. So it was interesting, this kind of mixing, like Latino roots with African American. So I think
Mhm.
she had the whole potential to be the next R&B princess. But I want to know your opinions, guys. What do you think about Tatiana Ali? Mariel. Mariel is frozen.
I was waiting for her to talk.
Yeah. Okay, let's
Yeah,
start
let's
with you, my
wait. Let's
friend.
wait. Okay. Well, first of all, I gotta say I always thought that the song she sang in the show was a cover. Uh, you never found the
Make
original
up your
ones.
mind.
Yeah.
No, friend. No, I think it's not a cover. I think it's original for the show.
Oh, okay. Such a shame. It's a really good song. I love
It's
that
a really good
extra.
song.
Yeah, the family
Me too. Me
is
too.
mad about her being a singer. She looking very sassy and everything, very beautiful.
Yes, yes, yes. And actually, I
Yes,
love the looks because it's very 90s.
yes. I really want to have her album. I don't have in my collection yet.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah, I have the singles. I have the singles here. Every time
Mhm.
and
Oh, wow.
Daydreaming.
I love it.
That's better.
Oh. You are back, Maria. We thought
You're
we
back,
lost
Mariel.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, and I want
Yes,
to have.
I'm here.
Yeah, you were
Okay.
frozen
Okay.
for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So moving on. Um, I think the problem with Tatiana was the timing because they released her album and the singles after Fresh Prince of Bel Air ended.
Yeah.
So why
Mm.
they could promote the songs, the actual songs in the show
In the show.
if the album was released before. So for me, it was the timing of everything, because she was not on television so much after that show. So I'm pretty sure if it was released before, it would be better for her, and maybe her
Yeah.
career would be more in a different place, a place that would make her release more and more music after that. For me, that was the mistake. But I love her. I really admire her career a lot. I think she's really cool. I love seeing her in the new version of The Fresh Prince. I don't know if you guys watch it. She's a
Yeah.
teacher from the Ashley Banks now, the other Ashley, and it's really cool. I think she deserved it more for sure, and the songs were really well produced. I really like it,
Yeah.
and I agree with you, Mal. I was dying to see what she would release next, for sure.
Thank you, friend. Thank you, because I can be more agree with you with everything you said.
Yeah.
Actually, I even when I love daydreaming, I find the song a little repetitive because she's all the time repeating the same chorus, like "When love I think of you." I love the song, but I think it's repetitive. But I think it's the perfect example of, if I, let's say, a bubblegum R&B, like teen pop R&B, it's like the perfect representation because it's R&B, but at the same time it's like a very teen friendly, like
Yeah.
for teen audience. So yes, what do you think, Mariel?
Well, for your surprise, I did know who Tatiana Lee is, but I never in my entire life watched a single episode of The Fresh Prince.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, how sad is that?
I can believe that because the French Prince of Bel Air was like very 90s representation, very iconic show. I can believe that, mi Maria.
Never, never, Mimo, never. And it's on my to-do list. Unfortunately, I think it's on some streaming platform over there.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
Yeah.
I like her. I like her so much. I like her album. It's really cool. It's really bubblegum R&B. I love it.
Yeah.
And well, she
Totally.
released.
If I can
She released.
describe this
Yeah,
album is like with these words, bubblegum R&B.
Yeah.
pretty similar to Brandy's first album, Mimo.
Yes. Yes. Agree.
Um, I know that she released a couple of EPs years later. The one
Yeah.
called Hello, it's really cool, but unfortunately, it wasn't like a shock, you know. So
No, very independent.
very
Very independent.
independent. But her album Kiss the Sky, it's Kiss the Sky, right? Yeah.
Yeah. He's this guy.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's so cool, but I do agree with Lucas that probably the timing is what affected Tatiana's career the most. Because if it would have been released during the time of the show, it would have been a huge success. And I also do think it has to do a lot with competition, like we were saying with the other groups and singers that we were just talking about. The competition was tough, and you have to have like big numbers and be at the top to be recognized. And unfortunately for her, it wasn't the case. There were other singers that were doing better, but she is definitely good, and that album is for sure a precious 90s gem.
Love it. Thank you, mi Mariel.
Yeah.
Agree. So agree.
Yeah, but well, I will watch the show someday.
You
um,
you have to actually.
Yeah.
yes. My next choice was I know she keeps releasing music, but not a full length album, and it's what we've been waiting for over 17 years now, because when Paris Hilton decided to record her album Paris, we were like, Paris Hilton's gonna sing, and guess what? She did a great album. Her album Paris is really really cool. I mean, she may not have the best voice ever, but she did release Stars Are Blind, which did well on the charts, and Nothing in This World. Everything was going well, but then she decided not to release more music and then come back and release independent singles, but not another full length album. She was working with great producers for her first. She worked with great songwriters, including Cara Dioguardi, who is one of my favorite pop music songwriters. I'm sorry. And the song I chose for today was Jealousy, which wasn't a single, but should have been. I think that song would have helped her more. But what do you guys think about Paris? Do you think she got, after reading her book, I think she had like a lot of things on her mind. I want to do music. I want to do clothing. I want to do my perfumes. I want to do my makeup line. I want to act. She wanted to do a whole lot of things in a matter of seconds. So I think you just can't take everything because you won't finish. So maybe she released this album just to please the fans. What do you think, Mimo?
She's an entrepreneur, no doubt about it. Actually, I agree. Even when Stars Are Blind was my jam back in the day, it's crazy because I never listened to the whole album, but the Stars Are Blind, Nothing in This World is the other single,
Yeah.
were
Yes.
so good. Were so good. And I was listening Jealousy, the song that you shared with us, and I was thinking like, oh, this is very Hilary Duff Dignity vibe.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
this is the song I see Hilary Duff singing for the Dignity era, and it was perfect for the time. What more I can say? I love Stars Are Blind. Even when I remember she was before Kim Kardashian and all this Kardashian family and stuff like that was Paris Hilton. And I remember when the media was talking about, oh, she's going to release an album. I was thinking like, oh, she wants to be involved in everything, like she wants to be in the show, she wants to be here. She doesn't even have a good voice. But when she released "The Stars Are Blind," I was like, oh my god, the song is really good. The song is amazing, and I love the video, and I love how she looks in the video. She looks so good. Actually, she's very beautiful. And yes, I was so addicted to the song till this day. Is one of my favorite songs from that moment. It is very connected to my high school years. So yes, and I was expecting actually more singles from the album, because what I think about this, it was like, oh, I want to please this capricho. I don't know how to say it, like
Like a
in English.
tantrum. Mm-hmm.
Yes, like I have, like I think it was a capricho by her. I don't think it was like something that, oh, I love music, so I want to do this. No, I think it was like something like that, like, oh, I want to sing, so I can because I'm so rich.
Yes.
But it was good. It was good.
What about you, Luquitas? Do you like the music that she has released over the years? Why do you think she didn't continue doing another album like the one she did in 2006?
Yeah, I think that in her case, she is like what celebrity means to the most, and her
Mm-hmm.
name was everywhere, so everyone wanted to make money with her face, So I think that was the case of music. I don't think it was something that came from her. Maybe the label made like a good deal for her because for us, Lindsay Lohan is like a talented woman actress and singer, but for most of people back then she was like Paris Hilton, just like
Yeah.
a celebrity who was
Mm-hmm.
singing. So it was very easy to put all those girls in the same package. So for someone somehow made sense to make Paris Hilton to sing. Actually, I remember very well when my friend told me she was about to release a single. I was like, what? Why? And he said, with the money that she has, she can sing like Mariah in the album. Don't worry, it's not going to be bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't crazy about the album back then. I remember that. I remember listening to Stars Are Blind a lot. And the other single, Nothing in This World, that the music video was really cool. And but this song that you sent, I really like. Jealousy is kind of pop rock song. Uh, she had all the elements of that moment in the album, so it's a really great pop album. I
Mm-hmm.
think she
Mm-hmm.
did
Yeah.
something very similar to Brooke Hogan, that you can
Yeah.
find all those elements in Brooke Hogan's album. There's hip hop and there's pop and there's the pop rock vibes, everything
Mm-hmm.
there, a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
R&B. So I miss this type of albums. I can say that because it was a moment when you had so many different songs in the same album and somehow everything makes sense together. So I really miss those days. And now Paris just announced a new album, Mariel.
Yeah, it's
So
what I'm reading
yeah.
here with our friend Ellison. Hello, Ellison.
Oh,
He's from
he say
He's from Belize. He's
hello.
saying
Oh, hello.
I do believe she's supposed to be releasing a new album soon. She announced it on her Instagram about a month ago. Well, let's
Yeah.
hope she does, because she keeps releasing singles, but not a
Yeah.
full album. So let's hope
The
for
single
something cool.
from the album is out in is featuring Rina Sawayama that I
Rina
really love.
Sawayama.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
it's really
So
cool, Mal. You're gonna like it.
yeah, so maybe the
Oh,
album
okay.
will turn out to be a good one. So let's hope, let's wait. But
Let's
She
Jealous,
hope.
loves dance.
Yes.
She loves
it's a
dance
yeah.
music, and she's into a lot of techno dance stuff, and she's also a DJ. So I think it
Yes.
may be on that direction.
Yeah.
Did you guys check out her performance of Stars Are Blind with Miley Cyrus and Sia?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was interesting
Oh
to
no,
watch.
Yeah. That happened
no, I didn't know
New
about that.
Year's party.
Mm,
There is a comment by Joaquin. Stars Are Blind was my jam in 2006 in Chile. Only released the version with Wisin y Yandel, but the original
Uh,
is great. She should have more success with the next singles released. I remember the version with Wisin y Yandel because he
yeah.
was like in the radios too. But the
mm,
original one was more popular.
Yeah.
yes, yes.
The reggaeton.
Well, reggaeton, yeah, I know. Luquitas, your final choice.
Oh, it's me already. Okay, so my final choice is Amy Pearson. She's a singer from, actually, she's from England, but she had a career in Australia.
Yeah.
Actually, she met one of the guys that was a judge in Australian Idol, and he helped her to be signed in Australia. So the first song that she recorded was with Guy Sebastian, that is one of the winners from the Australian Idol.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, and then she finally released her album in 2007. She was signed in 2004, and she spent that time working in this album that I'm gonna show you guys very proudly who I am. That I have
Oh, you
the
have it. Oh,
yeah, and it's signed by her actually. Yeah,
Oh wow!
yeah, I love it.
How did you get it?
Well, once I had the opportunity to buy the whole collection from a friend who used to buy a lot of things from the websites when they release it. So a lot of signed albums I have now because of this, like Daring, Cherry Cole, because
Oh
of
wow!
from his collection. Yes, so this is something that I really love to have in my collection, and I chose the song for you guys, "Stranded," that was not a
hmm,
single, but it's one of my favorites in this album. Um, Her songs were kind of good in Australia, like top 40, but nothing very expressive. But I said that before. For me, this is what comes very close to what I think Stacey Rico could make in music
yeah.
after that moment. Sounds a lot like Stacey in some songs. Her
Yes.
tone, the way she sings, her looks. This could easily be the photo Stacey Rico could use in an album. It's very Stacey.
Yes.
Uh, and there's a lot of pop rock tracks here, so I really really love this album. And it's strange that should be a single in my opinion, but I love the whole thing. She had one single that was supposed to be the first single from the second album. It's called Aftershock, if I'm not wrong.
Aftershock. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and but the album was canceled. So Demi Lovato re-recorded Aftershock in one
Mm.
of her albums later. I think from the Japanese version only, but she re-recorded. And the second album by Amy never happened. Now she's only always in tracks by DJs as a featuring guest.
Voice, yeah.
Yes, because she came back to UK, and as you guys know, the electronic scene in England is very strong. So she's only in those tracks, no album. But I love her, and I really wanted more. So I want to start with
Yeah.
Mal because I made this guy love this woman. So please, Mal.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I had the blessed, I had the amazing opportunity to know about Amy Person because of Luquitas. I remember when he shared "Don't Miss You" with me. and I was like, oh my god, this is a stock by Station Rico, like
Yes.
reinvented. It's very similar. I'm going to say this not because it's hate on her, but I think because Stacey had a moment in Australia, like she was a little popular in Australia.
A lot.
They
Yes.
her team, like Amy Person team, tried to make the same thing with Amy Person. Like if you listen to that album, or for me, guys, I am listening to the Station Rico album. It's very similar. You can find like a song very similar to I Promise. You can find a song very similar to
Mm-hmm.
even to Beautiful Awakening, because there is a song that is very similar to Take Me Away. But there, Don't Miss You is very similar to Stock. There is another song that is very similar to Hesitation. So she was. I'm not saying she was trying to copy Stacey Rico, but I'm going to say, let's say that the album was very influenced by the Stacey Rico album, like,
Yeah.
but because it's very similar. It's very similar, but I'm going to say this on favor of her. The album is so good, and she is so good. And I love Don't Miss You. I love the video, and I love that she was so unique. Like I think her appearance is so unique because
Like
it's not
Stacy.
the
Yes.
like Stacy, yes,
Just
because
like
it's not the
Stacy.
regular blonde girl that is common to see, like the pop star and is blonde. I don't know. I know she's from UK, but maybe her roots are from another, because of the color of her skin is very beautiful. The color of her skin, I think this is very beautiful. So yes, but the album is so historical, so historical, like very similar. Like actually, the instrumentation of "Don't Miss You" is the instrumentation of a stock, like very similar. Her tone when she sings is the same, but
Yeah.
it's a good album. It's not like a copycat, or it's not like, oh my
Yeah.
god, she's copying a Station Rico and it's very bad. No, it's a good album, but it's very influenced by the Station Rico album. I don't know if she ever mentioned Station Rico as
I'm
a
curious now.
influence or something like
Yes.
that. Yeah.
I'm curious
Well,
now. And for me, this song is like mixing Stuck and I'm Not Missing You. So we have
yes,
Don't Miss You.
Yes,
yes.
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah. So how could it be
It's
wrong?
crazy. It's crazy.
He's so good.
What
What
do you
about
think,
you,
Marian?
Miriam?
Well, I do love Amy Pearson. I know her for years. Her song "Don't Miss You at All" uh, always brings me back to a moment in time. So for me, it's a great album. She's a great performer, but maybe it was the low sales that didn't help, because her songs were, like Luquita said, were good on the charts, but weren't, the highest. So in countries like Australia or New Zealand, you have to be at the top to be recognized. And if you are not, then so. And since a lot of singers are coming and coming, you have to be like, if you don't rise up, you're going to leave. And I think that's what happened with Amy. And when I'm sorry, she released the first single from her second album, Butterfingers, I think it's Lucas.
Yeah.
It was completely different to what she had been doing before, because her first album was more like pop rock, like you just mentioned. It always brings me back to Hilary Duff's self-titled album, because it's pretty similar in that direction. And then she released Butterfingers, which is more like electro pop. They were probably trying to get her in another way, but it wasn't so
Yeah.
good. And since she didn't have the highest sales, they decided to just shelve the album, and that's about it. So
Yeah.
it's a shame, because she's really talented. She's really
It's a
good, and
shame.
the songs.
Yes, she's really good.
I'm sorry. She has great songs on that album. Ready to Fly is my favorite. Um, and yes, she does have a lot of influence of Stacey Orico.
Yeah.
But well,
Yeah.
at least we have her album to listen to. So
Yeah,
Yes.
but she's great. Mao, your
she's
final
great.
choice, darling.
My final choice is an album that I don't have here, but my friend and our friend Adrian uh, have for me in Houston because he got that album. and it's called different kind of life. I can't remember the complete the different kind of love by Whisper Loud.
For a while.
This short-lived girl group, CCN girl group. There is no so much information about them. I think they were trying like to have like the answer for the CCM community to have this kind of bubblegum teen pop groups for this audience. You know, like in the case of we've talked about this before. In the case of Rachel Lapa or Joy Williams or Plus One or True Vibe for this kind of thing. Whisper Loud was almost the same, you know, like they were trying to have this kind of group that it was like teen pop but CCM with faith message. I was thinking about So Girl because So Girl was went
Yeah.
so well in the in the Christian charts, and it was the same formula. But I think So Girl evolved so much, you know. But in the first album, they were so bubblegum CCM, but then they were more R&B in a way, like this kind of song. But in the third album, they were like pop rock, so they were evolving so much. But with these girls, it was like maybe not so much budget, not so much promotion at all. They belonged to a very tiny label, like very little label. So it was not so uh, it was not so possible for them to have like a huge impact, neither in the Christian market. So I want to know your opinions, guys. Is good actually it's funny because even when they were not having a lot of success, they release a lot of singles, like, and you can find online the singles, like the physical
Mhm.
singles, like a circle and another. And it's funny because they were not huge, but they have like they tried to make a lot of promotion, but it was not possible. What do you
Mhm.
think, friends? Luquitas.
I want to ask you, please start with Mariel because I gotta pee so much.
Okay.
But I'm listening. I'm
Okay.
listening. I'll be right back.
Okay, with Yumi Mariel, I think it's the kind of music that you really like because it's a girl group. So I want to know your
Yes.
opinion so much.
What it's funny for me is that I remember reading an interview by them saying that they were trying to be the next Spice Girls in the Christian music. So
Oh, that's very interesting.
yes, let me see if I can find it and I send it to you, Mo, because they did say we want to be the next Spice Girls, but you know when you're in Christian music, you cannot be like a Spice Girl. So
I
I
know.
think your image has to be more, conservative and more,
Conservative and modest. Yes.
ladylike. So you cannot be like showing your stomach or wearing super high heels. So they
Yes.
probably said that to gain attention, but they were definitely looking innocent, like little girls, and that didn't help them at all. And especially, like I mentioned, if you are in the Christian market. So I think that other groups, like you just mentioned, Zoe Girl, were at the lead of the Christian girl groups, and so to try to be the next Zoe Girl was a little difficult back then because
Yeah.
they were very huge. Their songs were everywhere. They were topping the charts, and Whisper Loud was like were a little under.
Nothing.
So
Yeah.
that's why I think they couldn't continue doing more music, and they definitely didn't become the Christian Spice Girls that they wanted to be.
At all.
But the
Yeah.
songs are good. Their songs are good, but it's not my favorite. It's I think there are other uh, Christian girl groups that are better than them, but it's not them.
Like so girl.
So like Zoe Girl or Point of Grace or even One Girl Nation, I think has more catch than Whisper
Okay.
Loud.
Yes.
Anyway,
Because in this case, I think it was formula, so much formula, like this kind of sound in a CCN group, like very formula. So
mhm.
yes, what do you think, my friend?
This group was introduced for me by you, actually. I remember when
Yeah,
you sent me. And I remember I heard the whole album and I was not crazy about any songs. So for me, the problem was money and production, for
yeah,
sure. I think they were released at the same time of Zoe Girl, if I'm not wrong, like the year
yeah,
2000. And when you have a moment like that in music that everyone is trying to recreate that sound, you gotta do it perfectly, like Zoe Girl did. I think the first album of those girls is nothing less than amazing pop albums that we have in the mainstream market, like Willa Ford and all those girls. That sounds really, really good and really well produced. And these
yeah,
girls, for me, sounded a little bit cheap. It's like
yeah.
it's not that catchy. The melodies, the verse and the chorus and the songs is not something that is stuck in your mind. So for me, that was the problem. But I totally understand you liking and being obsessed, because sometimes we know that something is not that good, but for some reason we just love and starting to be very obsessed and want to
Yes.
listen and listen and know more and understand more. So I totally understand why you like, but I think we have so much more good songs in CCM that for me is like, I don't know.
Yeah, actually, I was not so obsessed, but there is something that catch my attention, and I feel obsessed is this kind of products that this kind of artists that were replicating the CCM world. This
Yeah.
is something that,
Mhm.
for example, the case of Aurora, that was another girl
Yes.
group for
Hmm.
the CCM.
Mhm.
I was so curious about what happened with these girls,
Yeah.
like because it was so interesting to see the
Yeah.
Christian market was trying to have the replicates of the mainstream world,
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
we've talked about this a lot. So Rachel Lampa, Christina Aguilera, so we have
Yeah.
Rachel Lampa, Britney Spears, we have Stacey Rico, Jessica Simpson, we have Joy Williams. And with these girls was like, okay, Spice Girls or even Dream. Okay, we have Whisper Loud, we have Aurora, we have
Yeah.
Sober. So for me, it's very interesting to know, like, okay, what was happening in that moment in Christian music.
Yeah.
And it's very underrated. It's very like, oh, what is this? I remember that the time when Adrian found the album, he was like, I can't believe I found it. I found this album. It was so random, but it's
It's
very
yeah.
interesting to know what is behind this. What
I
what, what happened
understand.
with the girls.
Yeah. It's
Yes,
Yes.
is is
yeah,
something that
friend.
makes us really curious. It's like when I was with you in
Yes,
São
really
Paulo
curious.
and I found that duo Libra that I never heard
I
of, and I
know,
I
I
had to
know.
Yes.
buy it.
Yes,
Yeah, actually I did
yeah, I
that
know.
today. I bought this boy's this boy album just because he looks like a teen singer, and actually he is, but I never heard of.
I
So
love
now
you,
I'm
Lucas.
curious.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
here, yes, for me to listen tomorrow. Yes, I know
Oh,
that
that's
one
great.
song is a version of Westlife, I Need You, so I'm very curious about the album.
Okay,
but
Okay.
okay.
but it's probably bad.
Let
Yeah.
us know.
Yeah.
Let us know, but I think it's probably bad.
Yeah.
Me, Mariel, your final choice.
Yes, I left this one at the end because I know we all three want to talk about her. This girl is all the way from the Netherlands. Her name is Esme Denters. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Esme. I don't know,
I think
but
it's just yes.
she was discovered by Justin Timberlake, who actually produced and co-wrote songs with her. She released this album called Out of Here, which is an amazing production. I love it. I mean, she had a lot of good songs there. I mean, because she worked with Justin, he had the idea of what to do. Um, and she has a great voice. She released a couple of singles, Out of Here and Love Dealer, which happens to be my favorite. And it's the one that I wanted to talk about today because she had all this pop potential, but all of a sudden, nothing. She just disappeared and appeared years later in London at the X
Yeah.
Factor, where she was saying that she was working as a waitress, and I felt so bad because I'm like, why? I mean, you had your whole career ahead of you, and now you are waiting tables. And she was she auditioned for the X Factor. I think she did end in some with some singer, but I she left soon, and she kept releasing, like independent singles over the years, but nothing as good as what she did on her debut album, which is a shame. She's actually very beautiful. She was talented. She had the looks. What do you think happened, Mao?
The bad management, mi Mariel. I think Justin Timberlake was not the person to be in charge of her career because she had all the elements to become the next huge pop star. The looks, she's absolutely stunning. She had the voice, she had the style. Actually, Out of Here and Love Dealer, that is my favorite too, are very good songs with very good potential to be amazing. But I think Justin didn't manage her in a very good way. Like something happened with the production. Uh, because I remember back in the day when she released the album, I remember she was huge even here. Like everybody was talking about her. Like, oh my God, this is the next pop star, like, oh, like for example, right now it's happening with Sabrina Carpenter. That this song Espresso is number one here in Colombia. I remember Love Dealer was number one here in Colombia back in the day when she
Really?
released that album. And yes, and everybody was talking about the Smith Enters. And something out of nowhere, like, oh, what happened with this girl? She disappeared. And years later, she appears in the X Factor singing and saying she was a waitress. And I was like, oh my God, what happened when she had
Oh,
all the elements to become the next huge pop star? Like, I think was the bad management. I think the album is amazing. I was obsessed with Esme when she released that album. And actually, the two of my favorites that you mentioned today was Amy Person and Esme Denters because I love them so much. I think they had a lot of potential to become something bigger, but nothing happened. And it's a shame because I think it was the bad management of the team, of Justin and everything. But
yeah.
oh, Esme is so, so good.
But the album is very, very well produced. That
Yes.
to be honest,
Yeah.
I mean, it's really good.
And
Uh,
it's pop, it's electro, but at the same time it's R&B.
mhm.
It's really good. It's really good. The album is really good.
Yeah, shame. Shame she didn't make more. What do you think,
Yeah,
Luquitas?
Yeah, first of all, it's so sad that the album is not even available on the streaming for us.
for
So
us, for me, and for Luquitas in Mexico, it's
yeah,
available. Mariel
Yes,
told
yeah.
us.
yes.
Now I gotta have in my collection because I wanna listen everything. I really love it. Her back then. I remember that she was the first artist signed by Justin Timberlake, and I think what happened was the moment in the market alongside with some bad management. I don't know how to say this word, please. Management.
Management.
Yeah, yeah,
Management.
yeah. There's always a word for me of Justin Timberlake, but he discovered her on YouTube as the same way that happened with Justin Bieber. So
Bieber,
in
yes.
that moment was like a thing to discover teenagers singing in YouTube, and Usher was the one who got Justin
Justin
Bieber.
Bieber.
I believe Justin Timberlake tried to have Justin Bieber under his arms and was
Mm.
not
Yes,
was not the case. So
possible.
he was looking for the next thing, and this thing was this girl that was amazing. The production was amazing. The song was amazing. I'm really surprised that the song was number one in Colombia. She was
Yeah,
not
same.
popular, yeah, here in Brazil at all.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Getting Over You was on the radio. I don't know why. Like out of
Oh,
here, a Love Dealer
love dealer. Yeah.
and Getting Over You and What If were released here in Colombia in the
Really?
radios.
Wow.
That's amazing. Yes.
Wow.
Uh,
Yes, yes.
but
She had her moment here.
yeah, everyone who loved pop music was kind of excited about her career, even when she was popular in the country or not. But I think the market changed like this in that moment, and I blame Lady Gaga for that. Because,
Yes.
I know.
suddenly, if you were not weird and so different and so electropop, you were out. So for me, that was kind of the reason that changed it in the market so fast. Suddenly, the kids in YouTube were not so amazing because we had Lady Gaga, Kesha, and everything going
Mhm,
on in a
mhm.
whole
Happening.
new
Yeah.
era of pop music, and she was dropped by the label. I know that she was very mad and very confused
Yeah.
about it, and I
What
think
happened?
that there is more. There's some fight. There's some thing with
Yeah.
Justin
Some.
Timberlake, and that's
Mhm.
probably the reason why the album is not available worldwide. There something about it, I'm pretty sure. So it was like a bunch of things. And actually, Marielle, just to mention, she was in The Voice, not X Factor.
Oh, I'm
But
sorry. The Voice.
yeah,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
but
Yes.
Yes,
Hmm.
the
it
best.
was very sad to see her trying so hard to come back
Uh,
to her passion.
Yeah. It must be very depressing for you if you are an artist that was somehow doing it well. You were like
Yeah.
this, and then boom, you go down and end up like a waitress. I would feel so bad. I
Yeah.
mean,
and I remember her audition, like Rita Ora and will.i.am were like, "We know you."
Yeah.
They
yes.
were like, "We know you. You were a deal back in the day. Like you were a little like famous back in the day. And what happened? They were so curious about what happened with her career.
And actually, one of the judges was in love with her, and he was like, "You are so
Oh,
beautiful. You have to come with me." So it
because
was weird.
she's stunning. She's stunning. She's
Yeah,
really beautiful.
it's a wasted talent.
Yeah.
Yes, totally.
But anyway, well, that was the end of this selection that we did for today. There's obviously more to talk about of artists that only released one album and then disappeared, but this is our choices for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed it with us, and thanks for leaving your comments. Mao just did a playlist with the songs that we chose for this episode. You
It's
can find it
available.
on the description below, and it's on Spotify. I just want to say thank you so much for a great new season. I'm so excited for what's to come. Luquitas, anything else you want to add?
I want to say thank you to our friends watching, all the comments. Thank you, Marielle Mauricio, for the songs that we comment today, for being together here. And I'm really excited for another season. We want to continue to talk more about pop music. Next week, we have like a special guest that I know. So I'm really excited for what's to come. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Mao?
Thank you guys as always. Always is a pleasure. Always is like a very special moment in my week. And I know for you is the same. Thank you, the audience. Thank you guys because we are growing like step by step, you know. And this is because of you, and this is dedicated for you. You know it. And it's amazing because we've been having the opportunity to talk about different kind of artists, and we also try to put different artists on the table, you know, like
Yeah.
because sometimes it's impossible not to talk about artists. Like for example, Stacey Rico was emerging today
Every
again and again and again. But it's yes, but sometimes it's inevitable to talk about this kind of artists. But all the time and every week we try to talk about different people. And if you have any ideas or about subjects, you can feel free to give us your suggestions. And thank you so much, guys.
Yes, thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a big thumbs up, follow us on Instagram at Ready Set Pop Pod, and we'll be seeing you next time with more pop content. This is Ready Set Pop.